Hello everyone, my name is PaperNapkin and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Mega Man. And the last episode, I don't really want to talk about it right now. So in this episode we're going to be taking on Fireman, who has a nice little birthday cake for a hat, and I feel like blowing out his candle, that kind of sounded sexual, and then eating his cake, that sounded even more sexual. And as you can see, because it is Fireman, we have a fire type stage. Now, I've already mentioned before how I really like ice stages because they tend to be pretty calm, pretty good music and whatnot. The alternative to that is I don't like fire stages just because I don't know why a lot of game developers have decided to do this, but they seem to think whenever you have a fire stage with a lot of instant death lava, might as well make it a rail shooter. Or at least I think that's what they call it, where you're on a fixed platform but the platform itself kind of moves throughout the stage. Yeah. I understand why they would want to do it. It adds kind of an interesting dynamic to the game. It's something different. But really, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Just because it really limits you and the amount of room that you have to jump around. Meaning you have to have your timings down pretty good. And I tend to not have my timings down that good, so I tend to have quite a bit of problems with it. That being said, this stage is not one of those. So I'm actually really happy about that. This stage is probably one of my favorites, just because it's really easy. It's got some pretty cool fire effects, which if you have the ice gun, you can actually freeze, and then use them as platforms. Ah, almost. What am I doing? Magnet gun, really quick. Oh shit, okay, that did not work out. Let's just do this then. I'm not that good. Probably should practice a bit more. Would have looked awesome. But yeah, if you have the ice gun, you can freeze the fire. And as you imagine, the ice weapon is super effective against Fireman. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does enough. And what else was I going to say about the stage? Oh yes, the music in the stage is actually really, really awesome. And what am I doing? These little things of fire, they're timed pretty quickly. You actually have to jump over them as you move forward in order to dodge the attacks, which I didn't really demonstrate all that well there. But believe me, maybe I can show it off in the next area here. Yeah, see, if you drop down here, or rather, if you drop down here, we get to probably the most difficult part of the stage. You have these little fire things trying to knock you off. They kind of remind me of the bombs or grenades from the Final Fantasy series. And actually, they're pretty annoying. They're probably the only things you need to worry about because they can knock you off when you're doing some of these pretty crazy jumps. Same with those fire things there. And I did a good job. I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good indeed. As you can see, we have a bit of a little fire... I don't even know what that is. Some sort of stairway? Flame stairs? Or like a flame fountain. That makes more sense. Now, you can take some damage and try to go through there, or you can be smart and bust out the magnet gun. Magnet beam. Whatever you like to call it. It's not cheating, it's in the game, so feel free to use it. I most definitely did. And we have another new enemy here. This one kind of looks like Bullet Bill. So not only did you have an enemy that resembled a Final Fantasy character, albeit a Final Fantasy character that appears later on in the series, you also have a character from the Mario series, which is kind of cool. I don't know if they're related in any way, probably not, and I really hate those spike things. As you can see, if you shoot them, they explode, so try not to shoot them when they're near you. If you shoot a couple times off... Oh, what the god? That guy respawned. That is not cool. If you shoot a couple times in front of you, you can take them out. So nothing to worry about too much there. And I'm just gonna wait for these guys to clear out before I attempt this. Oh, 2 sets of them. Was not expecting that. But am I at the boss? I am at the boss, alright. And unnecessary damage. Flamin is probably one of the tougher bosses, at least in terms of the robot masters at this point. Just because while the ice gun does do pretty decent damage, it doesn't do a lot of damage, so if you don't have a full life bar, chances are you're gonna die, at least if you're as bad as I am. Maybe I'll get lucky and I'll get some life bar points here. Nope, just more score. And come on, damn it. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. His attacks are pretty tough to dodge just because they're pretty quick. They're really quick, actually, which you would expect from a fire-type boss. But just kind of spam the ice gun, try to dodge some of his attacks. As you can see, he just launches them. Oh my god. Yeah, that was not going to happen. It takes quite a few hits from the ice gun, but now that I actually have a full life bar, if I can avoid getting hit by these things, I should be in a pretty good position. And I'm okay with dying once in this episode, which is actually pretty good. If I die once per episode from now on, I will be a happy camper. Though I know it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen at all. Alright, so now pretty much this is easy mode. You can just stand here, take all his hits if you want. Just keep on shooting. You should be able to do more damage than he can do to you. And yeah, just like that, boom. So actually he didn't even do half, so depending on how much life points you have at this point, it's not that bad of a fight. But looks like Fireman didn't get the memo that if you play with fire, you're gonna get burned. Yeah! Deal with it. Alright, so that was actually a pretty decent episode and went by pretty quickly too. I'm surprised I only died once. Usually I had bad luck and I would get knocked off platforms, but I'm not going to argue with it. So in the next episode of Let's Play Mega Man, we're going to be taking on the last of the Robot Masters, Bomb Man. But until then, my name is PaperNapkin. Take it easy, folks.